What attracted you to this project? And we will start with Maya.
Um, I was attracted to this project because I met Mike Rianda and he told me about this wildly wonderful, unique vision he had for this movie. And it was so obvious that it was something that came from his life, his love for animation and being an artist and being such a creative person, and also his love for his family, the uniqueness in his family, and the weird eccentricities of his mom, especially, who I felt that I was kind of paying an homage to. And the idea that there could be this sort of regular family going to these extremes could be so fun and funny, but so visually wonderful, was so exciting. And I feel like it's just so nice to be able to tell such a unique story, through the eyes of someone who's just so naturally gifted in their element. And I felt so lucky to see Mike's vision coming to life because it felt almost like Katie's in the movie too. And it was, and it made it really special.
Abby, what drew you to this project?
Yeah, with my Mike was a huge part of it. Lorda Miller, the whole team behind it was just sort of unbelievable to get to be a part of. I think also I love the recalibration of relationships, and it's really just like the way in which families grow and change and expand and contract, and it had so much heart in the way in which my character's journey is all about, yeah, the recalibration of family. And I feel like I've been constantly in that recalibration with my own family and my friends, and I related to so much of not only Katie's story, but a lot of the characters, just like what happens when things change and relationships change. And he just did it with such heart, so much of himself. Yeah, that's that among many other reasons.
Yeah. For me, I think it was a little. It was really everybody involved. I think I came in a little bit later, and to see Abby and Maya and everybody else who was in voicing these characters, and Lord Miller, knowing their work, and meeting Mike, and yeah, it was just kind of an immediate yes, whatever you're doing, I want to be a part of. So yeah, it's really easy.
Hi, Abby. Like Katie, did you also feel that longingness to find your own tribe when you were younger? And what advice would you give young teens who struggled to find their own voice in this world?
Yes, I definitely felt that yearning to be understood and to sort of find my tribe and my people. Yeah, and it took me a while. I think it comes in stages. I didn't find them right away. Even in college, I kind of thought I did, and I was like, maybe this is it. And then it took me after college to sort of really click in and feel like a part of something. So I really relate to Katie in that way. And I think in the meantime, while I was on that journey, and still while I am on that journey, I think you really try and listen to the things that make you feel good and make you feel like you're expressing yourself. So for me, it was drawing and it was writing and those creative outlets. I think whatever you're into, lean into those things and try as much stuff that you're drawn to as you can, and it'll funnel itself out into other people that are into those things as well.
What is one thing about your character that you identify with the most?
One thing I identify with my character the most, I think, is the the propulsion to make things. I don't know why, but I feel like I want to tell stories and I want to put things out into the world. I think maybe because it is that thing of feeling a little misunderstood at my core, that I'm kind of looking for ways in which to share. And I love that Katie does that in every which way she can find. And so, yeah.
Maya, is there something, one thing about your character that you identify with the most?
I identify with Linda's unwavering love for her family and the drive to make it the best it can possibly be, and for everybody to just dig in and get along and nuzzle up and cuddle up. I think she is aware of how incredibly lucky she is, and I feel incredibly lucky to be a parent and to watch my kids grow and to honor them for who they are and see them continue to shine and become their own completely unique selves. So loving your weird quirkiness of your own family is something I can really relate to. Yes.
Beck, what's one thing about your character that you identify with the most?
I would say that, like, I guess I haven't really thought about this yet, but the my character, who's a robot, also has a journey of finding itself, because it was basically programmed to be a certain way, uh, and to do things in line with a certain way, and then it sort of has a change, has like an awakening, I guess, a change in perspective, and is sort of discovering uh, the world in a different way and learning about the world. So I think, like, similar to Katie knows exactly what she wants and she's going after it and she's finding that. But I think that, there's a different part of that journey, maybe earlier in the journey, where you're kind of going like, was I the things that I was given, is that what I want? Or maybe I want something else. So that's something that I can really relate to with Eric.
At this day and age, do you feel like it's almost harder to connect with one another with all of the tech that we do have available to us?
I mean, I think it's easier and harder, like where I'm seeing people's lives all the time because of Instagram, or whatever you're on, TikTok, Twitter. Like, you're seeing what people are doing all the time, and people are commenting on what you're doing and putting out there. And so I think it is like, in a way, it's easier to connect. But then at the same time, I'm seeing like a new generation communicating so much more than I do, and having sort of a code of, just a general sort of like ways of behavior that they just are learned and they know, but I don't know, and I haven't like adopted. So it can be confusing. So it's a little bit of both for me.
I mean, I think I agree with what Beck is saying, where it's a little bit of both, where I think it's easier functionally, especially, like, I am connected to way more people that I couldn't see in person, and connected, yes, via social media to the world. But I feel like the actual level of connection is way harder. It's like, oh, well, we're all connected. Like, I know what everyone's up to, but I'm finding it harder to find deeper connection right now I think for me, technology makes those relationships really crystal clear in my life. And maybe I wonder, without so much technology, if there'd be more connections that were deeper personally.
I agree with these guys. I think it does feel harder to connect. I notice sometimes I'll come home and I'll find, just like in the movie, one of my kids buried in their face buried in a screen. And I say hi and they say, "Hi, mama," but they're not looking at me. And I feel like, oh, that is like blood curdling. That's the thing that you fear the most. And you try your hardest, you try to limit screen time, and then you get a global pandemic and you have to do school online. So there's that. And you do the best you can. But just like anything, there are good elements connecting us, but also taking away from that personal. One thing we've tried to get my kids to do is use a telephone to call their friends, which could limit screen time. And it's amazing how different the conversations are. It's just a different way of communicating. And obviously, if we could all be in person the way that we've been, we recognize what kind of quality of life that is when you don't have it. And so, and then maybe some of the things we could do without, it's a real push and pull. But yeah, I don't want to say necessary evil, because I wouldn't call it evil. I mean, it's been incredible what it's done. I'm sure I probably bought more things than I should have online, and but yeah, I wish we could look at each other's faces a lot more. I think there, many studies, showing that the way that children develop, facial expression and personality is through watching other faces. So it'd be nice if we were looking at human faces while we were doing it. I think. I'm not a scientist. I just want to be clear.